welcome to part 2. You probably just watched part 1, but if you haven't, go to it because I'm going to be using some features that I set up in part 1 that you should also probably get. So, we're in the same song now, and how to actually make notes in this is by clicking. You see these notes, they are the pitches. I can't really teach you music theory because I don't really know that much myself, but it's not that hard, just like stuff like that. Now, to make music, now, normally while setting stuff up, like for the actual song, oh yeah, you can use the arrow keys to go between these stuff if you don't want to click on each one. I just set them all to 0. You can also press your number keys to set them, which is a lot faster when you're doing it a lot like this. And so yeah, I normally just start out with it being all 0s. So and then you can click here and choose an instrument. So I'm just going to go with simple square wave, just simple, like not much, and I'm just going to make something. There. Such a perfect tune. Now, I'm going to, just make more. Boom. It is now all my perfect tune. Now, here, I can choose another instrument. And just make more. Like bass. But what if I see that at the end here, you just run out of space? Well, don't worry, you're not bound to only this much. You can, go here to edit and change song length. The default is 16, but you can set it to anything you want. But yeah, as it says here, multiples of 4 are recommended. You can change it at the end of the song or beginning of song. Doesn't really matter too much if you're just starting out. Now, to play your song, you click here in the button that says play. That is horrible, but anyways, once you have that, that's pretty much all you need to start making stuff. Now, as I said, this is really a chiptune program, so don't think you can be making the most epic orchestral stuff. For that, you're probably better off using like FL Studio or something, even though that isn't free. You're probably better off using actual music making software that's not a website, or even stuff like Soundtrap would work. But if you want to make chiptune, ULTRABOX is perfect, even if you're not making something as simple as chiptune. If you're making something like old style music for maybe Game Boy Advance or SNES style music, you can use this too, because in Edit, you can add custom samples. To add a sample, you just click here, and you can't just upload it directly to ULTRABOX, which is sort of sad, I guess. But you have to upload it to something before, and honestly, out of all of the options you have, you should use FileGarden. It says here that you could use FileGarden, Catbox, or Dropbox, but it used to say Discord here, but Discord recently changed stuff. But so these are your options. I use FileGarden because it's just the easiest and simplest to use, but you can use either one you want. I've heard Catbox is good, and Dropbox is obviously one that a lot of people know. Well, this is FileGarden. This is what I use to host my samples, because it's just free, it's pretty good. while you're probably not going to want to host like really big things on here, it is honestly really good if you just want to host little audio samples. So these are some stuff I have. I have the Sonic sound font, but WAV edition. Oh yeah, something that you need to know is that you can't you can't put in like sound font files or things like that. You have to use um WAV, MP3, or OGG files. So to so all you do is you just click this upload button and you just upload whatever sound you want. I have this sound here, but I already uploaded it. If it doesn't go through, try reloading the page. Maybe your internet's a little broken or something like that, but it should work because I've never had a problem using it. So then go over here, select it, click on it, go over here and copy the link. Then go back to ULTRABOX and go to edit, add custom samples again, add your sample, and then it gives this little option for the URL. I'll be explaining more about what the options are, but you don't really need to know that much about it because if you don't have something like really specific, then it should work. But something that you should know is that if you do have a sound font file, like SF2 or other sound font file, you can open it in Audacity, a free program, to turn it into a WAV file, which is helpful. So now that I have that, I can just go over here, custom sample presets, and my file. And then it will be here. I will tell you what loop controls are because otherwise it might end up looping. Now you can loop it, it can go back and forth, play, or just play once. I want it to play once because this isn't supposed to loop. So after that, you can just mess around with it, use it like a normal instrument. You don't need to know about these parts yet. But yeah, that's basically it on how to generally use that part. So now that we have some basic instrument settings, I can tell you more about like song settings. So we have the scale and key. If you don't know what music theory is, you probably know nothing about this. But basically, music has these like key sets, I guess. I don't really know how to describe them, where it's honestly just Google a tutorial, but like major sounds happy most of the time, minor sounds sad most of the time, and then the key is the main like bottom part. C major is very common, so is D minor. So yeah, I'm gonna be just doing D minor because I don't really care. C minor. And here's the rhythm. Now, normally you would use fourth notes. But if you like want to mess around with like swing tempo, stuff like that, if you know how music works, you can do triplets. You have some options here. And if you don't really feel like sticking to something like a rhythm, you can try freehand. And you can always switch between it without editing your stuff. For example, I can put in these 1/3 notes things while the rest is still fourth notes. Or whatever. Half notes. Now, then the tempo. The tempo is how fast your song is. It's measured in BPM, which is beats per minute, which you might have heard of, because a lot of people talk about it, well, in music. And people create mashups of songs if they have the same BPM, stuff like that. So you probably would have heard of it from there. But basically, how many beats, which is these vertical line thingies separated by the lines, how many beats are in it? So yeah, I'm gonna make it just like sort of faster, because there. Now, that's basically all you need to know, other than being able to copy and paste instruments. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You can try the oh yeah, if you don't want it to loop, you can just put it as 0 and then make that, like, and then you have a second one, and then you can get a third one, so on, so on. But yeah, that's mostly the basics that you need to know.